Yeah, it's fine. Hello, everyone. It's a beautiful, blessed Friday. Indeed, we are back with
Yeah.
you once again on this great, great platform, Living Precepts with me, Naomi Wesi. We're going to have a power packed episode again. As you always know, I always have great artists in store for you every Friday coming to you live from Africa USA Radio. And today I have one of those. I have the king himself today. He goes by the name of King D Music. He's a Summer Award winning artist. He's a songwriter. He's a worship leader. He's also a music record producer. This man is power packed, man. He's just power packed. And I'm grateful to be having him today, right here on this platform. It's been a long way coming, indeed.
Yeah.
I'm glad that finally it happened. He's here with me on the platform. And let me just say this before I bring him in. The first time when I met King D was when we entered a competition called Sing Gospel in USA. I think it was a couple of years ago before COVID, right? Yeah, when we met, and it was a very very interesting competition when I got to know this great guy, and he happened to come first place in the competition.
Mm.
He beat all of us in the competition, and he was actually supposed to go to the US, and I believe it's still in the pipeline. But it's an honor, it's a privilege to be with him today, to get to know him up close and personal, and to tell us more about his music and where he's at now, what God is doing in his life through his music ministry. King D, welcome, welcome to Africa USA Radio, man. This is not a new platform for you. You know, this is home,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me and for
Mm,
that long intro. Thank you so
yeah.
much. It honestly, it's such an honor to be being, chatting with you today. I mean, we've been trying to have this conversation
Hey,
for.
man, this has been a
So,
long way coming.
yeah. So
It
yeah,
looked
I'm
like
very
it will
grateful.
never
Thank you.
happen. It looked like it will happen. It never happened, but I'm
Mm,
grateful that we finally were able to connect, and I believe we're gonna have
mm,
a great time. You know
yeah.
what? One thing I admire about you, watching you, following you, since I got to know you, was your consistency. You seem to be
Mm,
so consistent in your
mm,
career, in pursuing your career. What has been your motivation actually for you to be this consistent and
mm,
this focused, to the point where you bring such great results in your
mm.
music career?
I guess the number one thing that drives what I do, honestly, it's obviously the ministry, one, and also like life. Seeing that there's so much beauty that's happening in life every day.
Mm,
There's a little bit of ugly things that are also happening every day, in life. So
mm,
those beautiful and not so beautiful things, they motivate you as a songwriter, as a creative, to get your pen and paper ready, and just write something. And I'm one of those artists who, every time when I write a song, depending on if I feel like the song is ready or not, I don't sit on a song. I just want the world to hear it, because I believe that if God deposits something in my spirit or drops a song in my spirit, it is meant to go out there and minister to someone, so, or
mm.
encourage someone. So
Right.
I guess that's where the consistency comes from. I just don't want to sit on things. It's the same in life. Like, I'm a very I decide with what I want to do, and once I decide what I want to do, I just want to pursue it, until
Mhm.
I see it happening.
Mhm.
I'm not
Mm.
that kind of a person who sits on ideas, who sits on when I make a decision. I'm not that kind of a person who's gonna stall to put action in place and all that. So I think that's what really encourages me. And I mean, it's not easy. Sometimes it's very discouraging. Like you're
Yeah.
talking about results. I mean, besides music being ministry, the gospel or the Christian music that we do, besides it being ministry, it's also funded by finances. You got what I mean, to get these
Right.
things going. Whether
Right.
it's marketing, whether it's what is this? Whether it's just going to studio, recording audios or recording music videos. Sometimes you get frustrated when you don't see results. Results, as in maybe like the song reaching more people and all those things. But
Mm.
you always just get back to the drawing board. And also, I think moments like that, they just kind of like remind you that you know or reminds you the why behind what you're doing. If
Mm.
it reaches 5 people or 10 people, that's great. That those are the people that God wants to minister to. If it
Mhm.
reaches 1,000 and not 1 million, it's also fine. You got what I mean? So I think also just reminding myself that constantly, it just kinds of
Yeah.
give me like the encouragement to keep going.
Mhm. Mhm. And not only are you a songwriter and what is it, an artist, but you also a worship leader. I saw on your
Mm,
profile you're a worship leader, and I'm wondering how do you balance your ministry as a worship leader, ne?
mm,
And your the business side of
mm.
your music. How do you balance the two, and how do you separate the two?
I mean, I separate the two, but very easily. I mean, like first and foremost, like I said, before being an artist, I'm a worship leader, and I have a local church where I serve. Um, because maybe because of my busy schedule these days, I'm
Mm,
unable to serve every Sunday like I used to. But that is the culture that I grew up in. That is the foundation of my music career as KingD Music. I'm a worship leader, and I
mm,
know that with being a worship leader, there's sacrifices as well. Like you got to mean, because more than anything, we have to make sure that our worship is pure. And I try not to get too much into the business side of things, even though I
mm,
like to know what is happening, how is it happening, and all that, getting debriefs and all those things. I try to let my manager take care of the business. You know what I mean? So it doesn't
eh,
disturb me or get into my head too much. And then now, when I lead worship, it shows, that, oh, this person has got an ego. This is not about Jesus. This is not about God. This person is making it about themselves. They're making it
mm,
about, their success and whatever. And also, I mean, like, it's what you put in your heart, what you put in your
mm.
heart. We see it with your works, with your words, your actions, all those things.
Yeah.
So
How you
hence,
yes.
like, yes, hence you can go to a concert with a gospel artist, and then you don't leave encouraged, but you just leave feeling like this person was just showing off, whether it's showing off how successful they are and how incredible they are, and not pointing you to Jesus. That happens.
Mm,
So
mm,
as a
yes, a
worship leader, and also, yeah, as an artist, I try to keep the main thing the main thing, because I mean, this is about worshiping God, and also just pointing people to Jesus, not pointing people to KingD Music, because I can't help them. I can't give them that presence. I can help with my gift, usher them into God's presence, but I can't answer their prayers. They have to
mm,
look to Jesus every time when they come, whether they come into my shows or they're listening to my music. It has to point them to Jesus, and not point them to how beautiful my voice is, and how incredible I am as a human, and all those things. But yeah, I think for me, like, it comes easy. The balance really comes easy, because
yeah.
I've got that foundation of growing up in a church where it's a healthy church. I know that worshiping God is about just honestly just worshiping Him from a pure place, more than the success and whatever that comes with the music industry.
Mhm. So
Mm.
your music ministry was as a worship leader was birthed from your church, your local church. before you
Yeah,
became
I
an
mean,
artist?
also, yeah, I mean, also like from a very young age, I've always wanted to do music.
Okay.
So I guess, like being planted in a church where it's healthy and also supports what you're doing, and kind of like prepared me before going out. Like, yeah, I can say that the church really played a big role in getting me out there. But um another big thing is just me falling in love with music, because I mean, anyone can serve a church. There are people who serve a church as worship leaders, but they don't have any desire of becoming an artist. I had the desire of becoming an artist from a very young age, as little
Is
as
it?
8 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So this thing has been a long way coming, you know,
Yeah.
because I was going to ask you, at what point in your
Mm,
life, in your ministry, did you feel a sense of readiness to branch out,
mm,
to become an artist? So, but as you say, it started at a very, very early age. You started
mm.
having it's like you've always known that this
I've
is the
always known.
this is the path that you need to take,
Mm.
music. No wonder why you're so focused and so passionate, because
Yeah.
it's
No,
always
for sure.
what you wanted to do.
Mm. No, for sure, for sure. This is what one of those things I've always wanted to do. I mean, I left my really good job, corporate gig or corporate job that I had in
Mm.
2018 to pursue music full time, and that was
Oh,
the best decision that I could ever,
yeah,
it was the best ever decision that I made, honestly. And I'm so
yeah.
happy with my decision. I mean, it wasn't easy, but I'm glad that I'm at the point where I'm able to make a living out of what God has called me to do.
Mhm. But how has the transition been like? Has it been a smooth sailing? What challenges have you encountered along the way?
I mean, the
From
first the first obvious one was the money, because you're used to this nice soft life.
Yeah,
You recently
job
just got your first
security.
car, brand new, cash
Yeah.
even, like that's how good things were going. And now
Mm.
you have to, like, live within your means, and below your means, actually. And also trying to get out there to go to churches to sell CDs, and you know just to get to introduce who KingD music is to the world and all that. So it wasn't easy, but it was fun. I was so content. I felt God's peace over what I was doing. I wasn't even, like, trying to strive for anything. Like, honestly, I was so happy. I was so happy with not getting that much, big amounts of money, to just receiving whatever I could receive, with people, whether supporting the ministry by buying my merchandise, the T-shirts, or buying CDs, or buying tickets to album launches and all those things. So I was so content, man. Like, and also people just inviting me to be part of excuse me, what they're doing at the church, worship nights and all those things. So yeah, and I've been
Mhm.
content ever since. And I keep saying this, that there's some of the blessings that I was probably gonna miss if I had stayed where I was. So I'm glad that I
Is it?
moved from. Mm,
So you find yourself more fulfilled in this space than where you were before you
mm.
came in, pursuing music full time.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Now, as an independent artist, I know it's not easy not being
Mm.
maybe signed with a company.
Talk about it. Mm,
I want us to just to take us through that. How has it been for you being an
mm,
independent artist, trying to do it on your own without
mm,
maybe the support of a major company?
mm. It's been a learning curve, and I'm always learning new things every year. That's
Mm,
one thing about me. I want to learn. You got what I mean? Being an
mm,
independent artist, it gives you control over your works, right? It gives you a chance to learn. So I don't miss a
mhm.
chance to learn. You got what I mean? Like, I'm always, like, learning. I subscribe to, like, music business news. I'm always getting notifications when there's, like, a new article to read what's happening in the world, like globally, in the music landscape. And also, like, I because of the knowledge that I've acquired, along the way, I started my, creative agency, which is it's called KDM Creative Agency. We do marketing, digital marketing, traditional PR. We do everything that has to do with pushing artists and their music. You got what I mean? So
mm,
um that's one of the reasons why I started that, because of the knowledge that I acquired along the way. So I make sure that I'm learning all the new trends. I'm learning what's happening right now in the music business. How can you push your music digitally and still traditionally? How can you include this and these things? So I think as an independent artist, it gives me a better position compared to other independent artists who just wants to put their music out there and just see it doing well without them lifting a finger. And that's almost like impossible. You got what I mean? So yeah, I've always been that kind of a person who wants to be hands on, like with the decisions that I make, my career and all the stuff. And if you want to be successful as an independent artist, you have to know what's happening in the world. You have to know how you can push your music. And I think honestly, with the information that's available for everyone online, it's very easy to make it as an independent artist these days compared to how it was back in the day. You really don't need that 1 million rand advance check. You really don't. But also as an independent artist, you sometimes do, depending on where you are in your career.
yeah.
If you're an artist who's able to make, let's say, I'm talking about sales only, ne? Let's
Mm,
talk about, let's say, maybe, for example, you are with your music online, on online stores and whatever. If you're able to, in a year, if you're able to make a profit of, like, 500K to like 700K, yes, maybe you do need that 1 million to bump up your career. I'm just talking business wise now, to bump up
yeah.
your career and your sales and everything. Because if you get that 1 million marketing budget or 500,000 marketing budget, then you now have more power with regards to, or you're in a better position with regards to pushing your music out to the world, or out to your music. You're able to push your music to find its right audience out there. You got what I mean?
Mm, mm,
Because of
mm,
advertising, marketing, and all these things. So
mm.
I think it, having a label backing or a distributor backing, it is good, but it just depends on where you are in your
You
career.
are
Yeah,
okay.
if you're still starting out, try to save up more money and try to invest whatever that you have into your music. And yeah, you just take it from there. If, like, things are getting better, then that's when you can collaborate with people who have been doing this, for a long time in the industry. Sorry, I
Mm.
cut you there.
No,
Mm.
I was just saying it sounds like it's more of a business decision to make,
Yeah.
depending
Yes.
on where you are in your career,
Mm.
as you said. And
Yes. Yeah.
what so would you what advice would you give to the new independent upcoming artist? Would you advise them to go the independent way like you have done, or
Mm.
maybe the first thing to do is to maybe look for a company to sign with?
Guys, don't be
Which one?
emotional. I feel like I feel like a lot of artists or young artists,
Yeah,
they make decisions based on emotions and not based on
yeah, emotional
um,
decisions. Mm.
yeah, and it really hurts them in a long run. That's why now you feel like, oh, I worked so hard writing these songs. I worked so hard making these songs, but I don't have I don't have anything to show of it, because the record label took all the bigger cut, and then they give you 15%, and they're eating 85%. You got what I
Mm.
mean, of your works
Mm.
and all these things. Because, for example, if you start as an independent artist and you work so hard, you learn how the business is done, the business side of music. You learn how it's done. You learn how to move as well, like how to pitch your music to different music stores. If maybe you want to partner with an agency like ours, then we help you with that regard. Okay, cool. Now your music is starting to make more money on the music stores. So then, what is the next move? Okay, I need money for maybe let's say, because you've been an independent artist and you've seen the growth with regards to the numbers and stuff. Now you see
Mm.
that, you realize that, okay, people in Nigeria are actually listening to my music a lot. People in Kenya, people in USA, people in all these different parts, all these different parts of the world, like they're listening to my music more. How can I
Mm.
get there and maybe connect with them, by maybe doing a worship night or a show, like a concert, something. Okay, I need money. Then that's when you can leverage on your numbers. You get what I mean? Now you
Mhm.
can approach these labels or distributors and say, hey guys, these are my numbers. I'm trying to do 1, 2, 3 in the next year. I'm also dropping maybe a new album or whatever. I need your support, and also with getting the music to the music stores, and also your support financially with giving me a marketing budget. You get what I mean? Or touring
Mhm.
budget. You get what I mean? And then you decide, okay, cool. Instead of you guys going at this as traditional record, what is this,
Like,
record contract,
mm.
let's do it in a different way. You guys give me, you see, this is how much I'm making per year. You guys give me, let's say, you give me 300,000 rand, and then you will take 20% of my earnings, and I'll keep 80. As an independent artist, at the end of the day, you are still winning. You got what I mean?
Mm.
Instead of you
Negotiate.
going, yeah, instead of you going to the record labels before you even have money. I mean, not
Yes.
money, sorry. Before you even have people listening to you, you don't have
Right. Before
anything to
people listen
leverage
to
on.
your.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
You don't have
Mm.
anything to
Mm.
leverage on, you know? Instead
Yeah.
of you just going to take their money first and then now you have to be a slave the whole time.
Mm.
Work on your own, build on your own, build your own audience, and then let them cry for you, wait for you, and then, I mean, what is this? Go after you, not wait for you, but, let them
Mm.
cry for you, go after you, then you have an upper hand. Then you can decide that, okay, cool, if you want to work with me, since you really want to work with me, these are my
Yes.
terms. Mm.
Then you negotiate. Yeah.
That was a little business,
I love that.
music
I love.
business 101.
I'm sure a lot of independent artists listening, they are able to get some pointers there,
Mm,
in
mm,
terms of how to maneuver around this thing, because it's not
mm.
easy, being an independent
It's
artist,
not. It's not.
especially pushing your brand and trying to
Mm,
make money at the same time, understanding the
mm.
business side of it. I think you are one of the few who are graced and blessed, to be able to
That's
make
I
it
really,
through. Not
honestly,
easy.
guys. I might be not. I might be. I know that yes, God has blessed and graced me for this, but it took. It was just about learning. You know,
Mm.
saying that, okay, there's a label here, let's say in South Africa, for example, there's a label doing 1, 2, 3. How are they doing it? How can I do it as an independent artist? You got what I mean?
Wow.
It's just that,
You
curious
are
mind of,
smart. You're very
always
smart.
wanting to find, okay, cool. I see other
Mm.
artists are getting nominated for the summers. I know that I'm an independent
Oh,
artist, but how are they doing it? Then you go and read the rules. This is how you submit for the summers, and this is the albums that are eligible for. You know, your music has to be released at this time, and this is the submission fee. Okay, cool. Maybe I don't have the submission fee, but can I get it? Yes, it is possible to get it. How can I get it? Then you start working towards that. And also,
mm.
like, just having that belief in yourself. I've always been that one person who really believe in what I'm doing, and
Mm.
I believe in what I'm doing because my music has been tested. Has been has I make sure that before I release my music, first of all, with the songwriting, I make sure that the lyrics, they are strictly from the Word of God. You got what I mean?
Biblical.
I know that's biblical lyrics.
Mm.
It gets checked. You got what I mean? Before I put out my music, and also with the music, I work with top producers. In the
Oh.
world, top producers who are even um, producing some of the top charting tracks on secular music. You got what I mean? I
Mm.
work with those producers who know what they're doing. Like, for example, if I'm gonna be doing a song that is a CCM, like a worship, what we call, like sometimes here in SA we call it white music and all that.
I do.
I'd wanna go and work with the person or the best producer I can find in that genre, whether they're from SA or USA, wherever they are in the world. You got what I mean? If I'm going to
Mm,
be doing an Afrobeat track, I want to work with the best producer who does that. If I'm working on local sounds like, gospel, amapiano, or Afro house, I'd want to work with the person who's giving DJ Mapurisa, like, best hits or whatever, or maybe they're working with them somehow. I want to work with the best with everything that I do. So I've always believed in myself in that way. And I think also that kind of like, now going back to, finding out how do you submit for the summers? How do you do this? I always make sure that my work is the best when it goes out. So then, I also have that confidence when I'm going out to maybe like, submit my work for something, out there. So yeah.
and that's one thing I've actually noticed about you, following you, that when it comes to excellence, you don't compromise. you,
I don't, guys.
you
I
just
serve a
don't
creative God.
compromise. Yeah,
I
yeah.
serve a creative God. He's very creative. We both serve a very creative God, and He's very creative. And I think honestly, it's time for the kingdom. It's time that we have the best coming from the kingdom.
True, true,
Mhm.
true. We must set the standard. And now you spoke about working with the best
Mm.
producers,
Hmm.
you can find. And
Sorry, excuse
haven't
me. Sorry, my phone was
haven't you
moving.
found it challenging to actually connect with some of those best producers that you've worked with? Was it not a mission to actually connect with them and get to that level where they are willing to actually work with you?
No, because I mean, from the get go, my first song that I released, the first gospel song that I released was in 2012, called Holy Ghost Party. That
Mm,
song was the person who worked on it. He's one of the best producers right now in the world. He produces for Davido right now. But
mm.
I am his first. I was his first artist that he produced in South Africa at that
Wow.
time. He was still a student in. It was still a student. At a music production school in Hartfield in Pretoria at that time, you
Mm,
know.
mm,
And also before that, I had other music that he listened to, and he's like, "This is good." You got what I mean? So from there, we just build a relationship, and I've always been about relationship. Before working with
mm.
someone,
Okay.
I will try and see, okay, cool, this is who you are, cool, that's awesome. Maybe just get to know them, whether we just get together over coffee or whatever, and then so I can share my vision of whatever song that we want to work on, or
Mm,
just share with them what I'm doing, so they can see that when I work with this guy, my work is not just going to end up here, but it will definitely go out in the world and impact a lot of people, and a lot of people are going to listen to my work. So the way that's how I've positioned myself as an artist, to make sure that it's not so hard for producers to work with me.
to produce your music. No, that's very interesting. I just love how you approach this thing, the way you
Mhm.
you are able to take it to the next level, and the fact that you even develop relationships with these people. Now, you
Mhm.
mentioned that you have an agency that you
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
yeah, tell us a bit about that agency, because I'm sure there are artists who are listening to you now who are struggling, who may be struggling in terms of taking their music out there and struggling with the business side, the online side. How do you take your music out there and all
Mm.
that? Tell us a bit about the services that you are offering in your
Okay, so what
agency.
we do What we do is we help with getting the music playlisted on radio stations, Christian radio
Mm,
stations globally, TV. If you've got a music video, we get your music videos plugged in on TV as well. Radio interviews, online as well. Like we work with music stores like Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, YouTube Music. We work with them. We pitch to them directly. We pitch your music directly to them. So we do a lot of we do everything PR and everything marketing and online music, but also we don't just take on every artist. Like we
Yeah,
we
that's what
make
I
we
was
have to make sure that, yes, we have to make sure, you have to make sure that you are bringing us quality. Because when you bring us quality, it makes things easy for you, for doors to open. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that artists don't really understand. And it always frustrates me when I see people, when I know that this person can afford to shoot a music video of 20,000 rands, but then they choose to go and shoot a music video of low quality, and they don't know that they're shooting themselves on the foot, because now you're delaying some of the doors, that can open because
saying.
of, just having a good visuals for your song, just having good quality, song that can play on radio. Then you end up wasting money on, finding like low quality things, because if if you're going to pay 3,000 rand on a song that's of low quality, instead of you paying 5,000 or 6,000 rand, then it's still like a loss. You got what I mean? You've lost money,
Sure.
because whatever that you've done, you've wasted your energy, you've wasted your
Mm,
resources, and still you got low quality product.
mhm,
So rather
mhm,
just go for the best. And I know that it's not easy, because people don't, they have to get that capital and everything. But at the end of the day, honestly, it's just about the willingness and planning and wanting to work. So yeah, we definitely don't just take any artist. We the quality of your music honestly speaks for yourself more than anything. Then we can start helping you with your brand and getting your brand out there.
mm. Now, is
Mm.
there a specific, like, do you specifically maybe market or promote certain music? Is there specific
Mhm.
music that you promote, or is it
So
music across
like
all genres?
naturally, we have a lot of worship, the CCM stuff, the new Christian genres that are like, Afrobeat, Afro pop,
Mm,
Afro. Afro, now it's actually called Afro gospel, but you have R&B, you have pop, you have everything. This
mm.
kind of like contemporary. Let me just call it, say contemporary.
Contemporary.
We have a
Okay.
lot
Yeah.
of contemporary Christian music or Christian artists coming to us, but also we've done like hardcore Southern gospel sound, like a gospel music coming from South Africa, even gospel, like hardcore gospel music from Nigeria. We have artists like from that side as well that we work with. So we do any kind of gospel music as long as it's good quality. We are
Mm,
concerned more about quality more than anything.
mhm.
Creativity, quality, and you know just making sure that also yourself as an artist, like the way you present yourself as a brand, it's top quality, because we have to change the narrative. We have to change the
No, we
narrative.
do. We do.
Back
Yeah.
in the day, we used to see all the old what is this all the legends, let me not call them old, but the legends, the gospel legends, they will have
Mm.
similar music videos, like they are on some waterfall or some water stream, and they're just standing there the whole time of the music video. You get what I mean? You remember those times when people would be
I
singing
do.
by the river and everything? There was no, the
Yes.
creativity was
It
limited. You
used
got what I
to,
mean?
it used to, I mean, I used to be bored watching those things,
So
That's why I'm saying,
mhm.
yeah. That's why I'm saying when I watch your videos, I'm like, man, this guy, it's like you just go out of your way to make
Mhm.
sure that whatever you do is just top notch,
we
and
have
it's
to we have to as
international
gospel artists.
class. Yeah, it's
We have to
international.
as gospel artists. Otherwise,
Mm,
honestly, when I believe that if we're not doing that on that level, then we're not really honoring God with everything that He has
mm,
given us, because it's given us
mm,
all the creativity and everything, and we should be the ones that are influencing the culture, not to even stay the way it is, but making the culture to become just a kingdom culture. You got what I mean? We are
mm,
the ones that should be making the world a better place with our art, with the way we influence kids, instead of kids like leaning into things that lead them to want to be naked online, lead
mm.
them to want to live a certain life or lead a certain life. They should
Yeah.
be finding that, they should be finding the fun, in church. You got what I mean? They should aspire to live, a pure lifestyles, because of, the kind of influence that we are in the world, and as creatives,
Mm,
we actually have, a big role to play in that.
Oh,
Mm.
powerful. Let's talk about your music in this last few minutes that we're left with. Let's talk about you now.
Mhm.
Your music. You just won a summer award, man.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's
Mm,
huge. And we are just so proud of you. And I remember before you even won this summer award, you were also nominated for Ingoma and you won Ingoma
mm,
prior to winning.
mm.
So I mean this year it's been happening for you, eh? It's really been
Yeah,
happening.
it's been.
Let's start about the summer one, the summer
Mm,
win. How did
mm,
it feel like and how did it happen? Because I know that when we met at the anniversary, I asked you about the
mm,
nomination, the summer nomination. You said, we just went there. I didn't win. And then the
mm.
next thing after, I would think a week or so, you on social media, you are saying you've won a summer award. It just took us
Mm.
by surprise. What really happened?
Hey man, you're so spicy. Anyway,
I
um,
want the juicy stuff, you know?
hey, so this is what happened. So, um, I can say that, even from the beginning, I was just the rightful winner of the award, because
Okay.
if the person who had won the award in the first place, if they hadn't entered, my album would have just, won straight. You got what I mean?
Mm,
If they hadn't
mm,
entered and also committed,
right.
breached the rules of the summers, we could have just
Yes.
won, straight away. But anyway, this is
Mm,
what happened. The artist who had won before, she actually submitted old work, so she repackaged the work, her album, to say this is a new album, new songs and whatever. But they don't allow that at Summers, and I love that because um, in the gospel genre we've been known for recooking, for just cooking and cooking
recycling.
the same songs all the time,
Yeah,
recycling
we
same songs.
recycle.
and
Yeah.
and I love that because it actually uh kind of like pushes more artists to be more
Creative.
creative
Yeah.
every time
Mm,
when they're working on new albums.
mm,
So yeah,
mm,
that's what happened. And then once they found out that that happened and she even won, they had to even fire the board, the people who
mm.
were working on the summers, because that's against the rules, because it almost paints this picture that they knew what they were doing from the get-go, from when they submitted. It looks like
Right.
they knew what they were doing, even with the people that are working in there. It looks like a fraud thing that happened.
Mm,
But
mm.
at the end of the day, I'm just happy that it got rectified, and I'm super 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 excited about this win. If I was doing any other kind of gospel music, it would have just been like, oh, okay, we won, amazing, and I move forward, right? But I'm
Yes.
super excited about this win because there's a younger generation of artists coming
You.
up. I know about
You.
them. I've been seeing them
Mhm,
online.
mm,
Who are doing the kind of music that I'm doing now. The kind of music that I've been championing since 2012.
mm.
They're now young gospel artists who are coming up. They're like, you know what? We want to mix gospel gospel music with hip hop, with pop. We want to do the
Oh,
full on contemporary,
right.
real contemporary style. You got what I mean? So for me,
Mm,
it's a huge win, for not just for me, but also for the culture, because there's young kids coming up who are really want to package, gospel music in a different way. And now they see
mm.
that, oh, even the summers now are recognizing us.
Right.
After all
Right.
these years of me submitting and not being
Sure.
recognized, and now we finally get the first nomination, and that was a huge for us as a culture, and also for the young artists coming up. But we end
Mm.
up winning. Now it even encourages them more that there's an opportunity for us to contribute into the gospel industry in South Africa and bring in fresh sounds that can definitely point the new generation or the younger generation, even the older generation, back to the cross, to Jesus.
Mm, mm. What would
Mm.
you say has been sort of your secret to this win? for you to be making
mm,
it to this, because like you say, it's not easy. It has taken so long,
mm. Since
for
2012.
right, since 2012. But how, what recipe did you use? What has been your secret to success, which will also, I believe, motivate even these young upcoming musicians that you're talking about? What would you say has been your secret?
Consistency.
Mm,
Consistency. More than consistency. Consistency, I think actually it's the lasting, but quality.
mm. Quality and
Quality.
consistency.
Now,
Yeah.
like yes, the way I'll make my music, you can put my music against any artist out there who's selling like big albums with regards to quality,
Mm,
and it
mm.
will still stand against those songs. And that's what
Wow.
I aspire for more artists, gospel artists to do. Instead of us just repeating things that have been happening. We're not saying that we don't love our where we come from as gospel artists or the gospel industry. We love that. We love the classics. We love the legends, in the industry and all that. But let's
Mm,
also be open to new things. You got what I mean? So honestly, quality is a number one priority for me. If the song or the mix or whatever it is, or part of the song is not of good quality, then I don't want to release it. So
mm,
quality has helped me to get here. And also branding, the way
mm,
I represent myself. I've never changed anything about myself. I've never changed, the way I dress. I've never changed the way I talk. I've never changed the way I worship. I'm just, who I am. I come as I am because, that's what God wants me to do. It's just to
mm,
come as I am, and without changing anything about, my, the way
right.
I act or who I am. But of course, like, when I'm in the Lord, who I am, if it was different from what God has called me to be, like it definitely changes. You get what I mean? You definitely
Mm,
get better.
mm,
So yes, but in terms of like who I am, the way I talk, the way I sing, the way I my view in the world and everything, like it hasn't really changed. But I've just become a better person because now I do everything for God, and also I'm doing this and walking this journey with God. So
mm.
I think authenticity is your biggest win as an artist
Ooh,
or an
you
upcoming
are
artist. You need to be authentic to who you are. Like you need to stay true to who you are. Don't try to be wearing suits now because Mang Mang is wearing suits when you've been wearing, skinny jeans. We've been seeing you, you know, from a young age. You've been wearing your skinnies. Now you want to be wearing. But if that's what you want to do because that's who you are, yes, do it. But we're just saying that don't try to fit in because when you try
Mm,
to fit in, there's nothing there's nothing honestly that you're gonna get out of that. You're just
mm,
gonna be like the others, and you're not even gonna stand out and all those things. Because I mean, why are you trying to be King D music? We already have King D music. Why are you trying
mm,
to be Benjamin Dube? We already have Benjamin Dube and Rebecca Maluk.
mm,
You got what I mean? You just do you. Let them inspire you. Let the artists who have already walked the journey inspire you. But
mm,
don't let that limit you and limit your creativity.
mhm. You've been one perfect example that has shown or demonstrated that fresh, new, contemporary music does sell. Because there's this misconception that in order for you to sell in the gospel music genre,
Mm,
familiarity is what sells. You
mm,
need
mm,
those old classical hymns and whatever
mm.
for your
And
music
they're
to be.
beautiful.
They're
They're beautiful.
beautiful.
They're
Yeah, we love
beautiful.
them. Yeah.
Mm,
But then it's like we've promoted a trend to be stuck there instead of
mm,
growing beyond, like
mm.
what you are saying, coming up with new music,
And
new trends
mm.
and all
and
that. Yeah.
also you can still do the old hymns and everything in
Mm.
with a modern twist. You can do that.
You see? With a
There are lots
fresh
of artists,
new
even American
sound.
artists. Yes, even
Mm.
big American artists, they do that these days. Hip hop, Christian hip hop artists, they do that. They sample, the old and bring it with a new twist and
Mhm.
fun
Mm.
and everything. But hey man, like honestly, we just thank God. I think um, just bringing this back to how we started. Honestly, I just want people to be pointed to God every time when they listen to my music. I
Yes,
don't want them
yes.
to remember King D music as, he was this cool artist and whatever. Yes, cool,
Mm,
amazing. Yeah, that's fun. That's awesome. That's who I am, as a brand or whatever. But, I want people to know that, every time they come, whether to my worship night or like an
mm,
album launch or whatever, or show concert that I'm playing, that, they feel connected more to God, and they feel they're left encouraged to
mm.
just keep pursuing their personal relationship with God, because that's how I write my music. I write my music from a personal experience and the personal relationship that I have with Christ.
Powerful, powerful. Hey, our time is up now. We can talk the whole day
It
with
is.
you because there's so much that we are learning, especially as
Mhm,
artists, from your music, especially with the
mhm,
grace that you have and where God has placed you right now. But we
mhm,
we are grateful to have people like you, King D. We honor
mhm.
you. We appreciate you. May God continue to take you from glory to glory. May you continue to even inspire these young
Thank you.
upcoming artists, especially in terms of quality, in terms of
Mhm.
consistency. My brother, you got it when it comes to
Thank
that.
you.
We
Thank you.
appreciate
I
that.
appreciate
So,
you. Thank you.
so your music is in all digital platforms, right?
Yes, just search King D Music. That's one word. King D Music. King D Music, no spaces in between, just King D Music. You'll find everything, music videos on YouTube, Spotify Music, Apple Music. These are everywhere you consume your music. You can find me.
Mhm. And are you available for bookings? Where can people
Yes,
find
bookings.
you?
Yes, you can just you can call on 072 66 939 83 072 66 939 83, or you can just send an email to bookings@kingdmusic.com. Bookings@kingdmusic.com. Or you can send an email as well to gracious.baloi@gmail.com. Gracious.baloi, Baloi with the I, Baloi at gmail.com. But otherwise, bookings at kingdmusic.com is very easy as well.
Well, thank you so much, King D. It's been such a great pleasure and an honor chatting with you, getting to know you up close
Mhm.
and personal. This is where we'll
Thank you.
leave it. May God continue to bless your ministry as it
Bless you
continues.
too, guys. Thank you. Thank you. It's amazing to see you guys just growing every year and every month, so keep growing. And thank you for what you're doing for the work, of, the kingdom work. We
Yes,
appreciate it.
yes. And thank you so much for your partnership also with Africa USA Radio.
Let's
We
go.
consider you
Thank you.
as one of our partners. And
I
so,
am. I am. I do a lot
exactly.
of things for this radio station on the back,
Yes.
and under, not under, but not under the carpet, but I do a lot of things for this, for the radio station, just to serve behind the scenes. So
Behind the scenes, yes. Yeah.
yes, I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, we greatly, greatly appreciate your contribution and you
Mm.
creating those platforms for the station.
Thank
Keep
you.
up the great work that you're doing. Thank you and
Thank
stay
you.
blessed. Thank you.
Stay blessed. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. That's where we will end it. That was King D music right there. And we had a great, great chat. Please make sure you check out his music. He's a powerful, powerful gospel artist that God is raising in this generation, especially as a motivation to young upcoming artists. So check out his music so that you can also be blessed. That's where we end it. Until next time, this is me, Naomi Wesi, saying, may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May He cause His face to shine upon you and give you peace till we meet again next week, same time, same place, right here on Africa USA Radio.